The Sports Renegades podcast on SportsTownChicago.com.
Hey, hey, holy mackerel, no doubt about it, the Cubs are on their way. The Cubs are gonna hit today, they're gonna pitch today, they're gonna field today. Come what may, the Cubs are gonna win today. Hey, hey, holy mackerel, no doubt about it, the Cubs are on their way. They got the hustle, they got the muscle, the Chicago Cubs are on their way.
1 ball, 2 strikes, the pitch. Big Cubs win the division! Cubs win the division! Cubs win the division! Fitzgerald is out on strike. Look at that scene on the field. And underneath all that humanity is Mitch Williams.
2 outs, 9th inning. And the 1-1. Sammy drives one. Get out the tape measure. Long gone. I don't believe it. Sammy Sosa ties the game 8-8. Well, Pat, we talked about the fact that Sosa hit the ball right on the screws last time up. This time, a no-doubter against Urbina, who, for whatever reason, after throwing a bullet of a fastball by him, he threw him a slider, and Sammy hit it out of sight. What a game tonight. Sosa hit one to Waveland Avenue.
The Chicago Cubs are on their way.
High fly ball. And for the first time in a century, back-to-back postseasons for the Cubs.
All right. What a great way to open up the show tonight. Welcome into the Sports Renegades on SportsTownChicago.com. I'm Ryan Stuprich.
And I'm Ryan Risky. And man, what a week it's been. The Cubs are back in the NLCS for the first time since 2003. They've clinched a series at Wrigley Field for the first time ever. And they completely destroyed the St. Louis Cardinals, hitting 10 home runs in a span of 3 games, including 6 in Game 3.
Man, how about Jorge Soler, too? I know he didn't do too well Wednesday. They still won anyway. But I'm sorry, Tuesday that was, because the games were Monday and Tuesday at Wrigley Field. But I mean, how about the job he did? 9 plate appearances in a row, got on base all 9 times.
5 walks, 2 home runs, a double, a single. It was great. The crowd was unbelievable. I remember Rizzo and Bryant both said that they were expecting the crowd to be loud. They weren't expecting it to be as loud as it was.
I know you were there Monday.
I was there.
That must have been just a tremendous experience.
It was. 6 home runs on Monday. That was one of the best experiences I've ever had. I'm glad I was there on Monday instead of Tuesday, believe it or not. I mean, the 6 home runs at a night game against the Cardinals in the playoffs, you can't beat that.
Yeah, I mean, you didn't get to see them celebrate on the field, but you didn't have to go through that gut-wrenching 7th, 8th, 9th innings with the subpar Cubs bullpen, but they were able to get the job done. And yeah, first time since 2003 they're back in the NLCS. It's the first time they've clinched anything in the postseason at home, so that was also exciting.
And it really shows that they haven't really done much in the playoffs, because remember, baseball used to be the best team from each league went to the World Series.
They did that until 1995 when they added the wild card.
Well, no, that was until 1969 when they made divisions in each league.
Right, yeah, they made East and West.
The East and the West in each league, and then it was the winner of each division would play in the NLCS to go to the World Series, and the Cubs hadn't been to the World Series since 1945, so they were losing in the first round every year until they finally won a postseason series in 2003 in Atlanta in Game 5, and then the rest is kind of history after that. And speaking
of history, but history.
And one thing that I saw you point out, yesterday was the 12-year anniversary of the Bartman game.
Yes, it was.
And there might have been the craziest inning in baseball history, or maybe the second craziest to the Bartman game.
Yeah.
The craziest inning ever, that 7th inning.
And this happened with both of the teams. No, it wasn't just one team screwing up. It was both teams screwing up.
And it felt like both teams were the 0-3 Cubs in disguise.
Apparently, that 7th inning was almost an hour long.
53 minutes. A couple benches clearing incidents. I mean, it started out with Russell Martin's throw hitting the bat.
Yep. And since he was in the batter's box, it was a live play.
A live ball. Rougned Odor scored. Blue Jays fans are throwing
Unbelievable.
it. I mean, I know every fan base probably would have reacted like that.
True.
Except, which is why I hate when people say that they deserve to lose because of that, when every fan base would have done that.
We saw it with Atlanta in 2012.
And with Bartman in 0-3, every single fan base would have reacted this exact same way that Cubs fans did. As bad as it was, every single fan base would have reacted the same way.
I think it happened because it was a winner-take-all game. So there was so much tension, and to lose on a play like that would have gotten any fan upset.
Right, and the thing is that it was the right call. And no one knew the rule. I mean, no one knew what the ruling was.
No one really knew it until Ken Rosenthal said it on the
broadcast, and then the umpire said to go to a rule check. And then fans are pissed off when they did a rule check and got the call right. It's not like the infield fly where that's actually, a controversial play. Was it an infield fly or not? Where if the batter's in the batter's box, the throw from the catcher hits the bat, it's a live ball. And then people are pissed off saying that they should send the runner back to third base or that criticizing the Blue Jays for not going after the ball when they weren't going to get Rougned Odor at the plate. He was safe by a mile. I mean, he was about to cross home plate before someone even attempted to go for the ball.
Right, and not just that. I mean, how smart is Rougned Odor to
score on that play?
To score on the play anyway, because, I'm sure he wasn't 100% certain about the rule either, but he saw, the ball was deflected in some way, so he's going to run home, and that was very smart.
Right, it was kind of like an A.J. Pierzynski moment when he struck out in Game 2 of the ALCS. In the 9th inning.
Right. Yeah, it was very similar to that. And, of course, Mark was at that game when that jump.
Oh, your friend was at that game. Did he stay for the whole thing?
Yeah, he stayed for the whole thing. And he was sitting a couple rows above the Angels' dugout during that game. And they were yelling and screaming and swearing. Mark had never heard so much swearing in his young life at that point.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure they were pissed because they actually arguably they got that call wrong in that game, and there was no replay review or anything. And that was just the start of it. Then the next inning, the Rangers make 3 errors.
In a row. 3 in a row. How does that happen?
3 in a row, and then you have someone running into the catcher at the plate. They're trying to determine if that should be a double play or not. Another replay review. And then they determined that it would not be a double play. Josh Donaldson hits into a fielder's choice on a ball that should have been caught.
And of course it was Odor because he got what was coming to him.
A ball that should have been caught, and then the tying run scored, and then Jose Bautista came up and probably hit one of the most booming home runs you'll ever hear.
That was probably the most important, the second most important home run in Blue Jays history.
Probably to Joe Carter. I mean, it's unbelievable. I mean, it sounded like the roof was going to explode. I've never heard a baseball stadium explode like that, and it was such a booming, long home run. He had one of the biggest bat flips of all time, which I'm one of those people that really doesn't care about bat flips.
I mean, it's
part of the game. I mean, I'm not one of those people that's like, oh, look at this amazing bat flip. I'm just kind of like, whatever. That's part of the game. If you're a pitcher, get over it. I mean, that's just part of the game, doing a bat flip when you hit a long home run. It's not like they're standing at home plate and watching. They're just doing a little flip with the bat. And, I mean, obviously, maybe that's one of those where he might have taken it a little too far with that, except considering the circumstance, all the benches clearing, all the rule changes. I mean, rule checks. It was just unbelievable. I mean, what an inning it was. And then the thing is, after that, the benches cleared at the end of the inning again, and then after that, the Rangers had the tying run come to the plate.
Yeah,
the next inning. They didn't do anything with it. However, in that 9th inning, though, it could have been interesting because Odor lined out to second to start the inning, and that ball almost got over the head of the second baseman, which could have been big. And then Mike Napoli hit that deep foul down the line. If that stays fair and Odor's on, that's second and third, no outs.
Right. Yeah, it was a pretty crazy inning, obviously. And, another thing that was interesting, I mean, to go back to the bat flip really quick, I don't have a problem with the bat flips. I think it was a little aggressive. I
think it was like a little too much. I mean, I don't have a problem with bat flips. I don't know why there's like vines for all the big bat flips. Like it's kind of like it's part of the game.
Yeah, and I mean it's the playoffs. It's the intensity is up a couple levels, and the thing I didn't quite like was the whole Blue Jays dugout went onto the field after he hit that home run, which I didn't think was allowed because you never see that.
Right. The only times you really ever see that is for if it's like a historical moment, like a guy's like 500th or 600th,
or if it's a
career home run or a walk-off. I mean, if it's something that doesn't end the game. I mean, yeah, and the thing is, it was only the 7th inning.
Right, I kind of had a problem with that. I had a problem with them going out onto the field. I feel like that's not allowed. Like, I feel like you can't do that. But after all the stuff that was going on, I don't think the umps are going to stop, something minor like that, considering what else happened in that inning.
Right, I'm sure the umpires wanted to get out of there because I'm sure they were hoping the Blue Jays would win because that's the safest way for them to get out of there. Because I remember back in the infield fly game in 2012, I remember Mike Matheny told all the Cardinals players in the dugout, when they win, immediately get off the field, no celebrating. Just get off the field. It's going to be a bad scene.
Right. Yeah, that's true. And I feel like if the Blue Jays would have lost, we could have even seen more things being thrown onto the field if they would have ended up losing the game. But thanks to Jose Bautista, they didn't have to worry about that. And I mean, as you tweeted out and as we've been talking about for a couple days, the Texas governor thought it would be an all-Texas ALCS.
He tweeted his congratulations to the Astros on winning.
Unbelievable.
And not only that,
and then that's when they blew like a 5-run lead.
And then he was talking about how great it would be for the state of Texas if it was an all-Texas ALCS and then both teams lost.
Yeah, and that's just embarrassing. I mean, in this case, the better teams both won the series, but I thought it would have been really cool if it was an all-Texas. I thought for sure the Astros would win.
I did too, except when they blew that game, I was just kind of like, they're not gonna.
And then they jumped out to an early 2-0 lead off of former Cub Luis Valbuena home run last night in Game 5, and they didn't do anything
Cueto
after
deep.
that. I think that was the only hit that Johnny Cueto gave up.
It might have been. I know the Astros had I think he gave up 2 hits. They had 2 hits in the game, which is not going to win you very many games.
No, not at all.
And going back to the bat flip by Bautista, Luis Valbuena is actually a known bat flip kind of guy. He doesn't do anything outrageous like what Bautista did, except with Bautista, that's a heat of the moment type thing. With the way that game was, he kind of had to do that. And it was kind of funny that in batting practice today for the Cubs, all their players are practicing the Jose Bautista bat flip. Yeah. Oh, man, was that funny. They're all practicing their bat flips.
Yeah. What we're going to do now is we'll take a break. We'll talk more Cubs related when we come back because we got into sort of the crazy stuff. I mean, how can you not talk about the crazy inning that happened yesterday? But, we'll talk more Cubs next. We'll preview this NLCS. John Lester will be the Game 1 starter. Jake Arrieta will go in Game 2. We'll decide, or we'll give our take whether they're going to play in New York or L.A. Either way, it's going to be a battle of 2 big cities for the NLCS. You're listening to the Sports Renegades here on SportsTownChicago.com. The Sports Renegades podcast on SportsTownChicago.com.